Hello, everybody, and welcome to our next Hardcore Heroes edition. For those of you that don't know what Hardcore Heroes is, it is the upcoming D&D show, second edition, on my channel that will be notably hardcore. The characters will die at 0 HP. The players will leave the show with their characters. We're going to stick to the second edition rules, so Thaco's coming back. AC going from 10 to -10 is coming back, all that fun stuff. We're not going to use any of the optional rule books, so whatever's in the player's handbook, the DMG and the Monstrous Manual, that's not in one of the optional boxes, probably except for Encumbrance, because you need that, will be the rules we're playing with. But for today, we have, and I'm probably going to butcher this again, Maelne? Maelne. Cool. Would you like to introduce yourself to us? I am so sorry. I had you muted that entire time, and I apologize. Would you repeat all of that exactly?
Okay. My name is
bad.
Chris, Twitch name Maelne. I am a civil engineer specializing in roadway drainage and stormwater management. I have no internet presence nor a particular desire to generate an internet presence, but this intrigues me.
Wow, that was exactly word for word. Fantastic. Well, let's start with the character creation. Let's roll some stats. 3d6, and then you feel free to arrange them or keep them in the order. You've literally rolled a character that cannot be played. You do not have a 9.
Let's. I could be like an elf or a halfling and bring that 8 up to a 9.
If you would like to play an elf or a halfling and bring one of those 8s to a 9, you may do so. But that is amazing.
I've been doing test rolls. I've been like playing with this. Yeah.
This is beautiful. Wow. You feel free to re-roll because that is literally an unplayable character. The rules will not let you build that character. 6.
Down the line, I don't qualify for any classes, any race.
No.
All right. Kind of feel like against the spirit, but I also feel like if I do this, I would die immediately. So I'm gonna re-roll, I think.
Probably a good idea.
There we go. That's a lot better.
Oh, much better.
Oh,
wow.
this is the other end.
Yeah, okay. You got lots of options here. You could even be a paladin if you rearranged. Not that you ought to, but as you please.
Resistant. Yeah, rearranged. What have I got? 17 con. I kind of feel like leaving that there. But I don't know. Let's see. What are the requirements for other things? Paladin and Ranger, maybe? Ranger seems survivable. Or there's all kinds of fancy specialist wizards.
Which you could be many of those stats.
Yeah.
Well, the world is really your oyster at this point. You can...
Yeah, this is analysis paralysis now.
All right, let's get some docs in the background.
think I'm leaning towards an enchanter.
Don't see many enchanters being played.
Yeah. If I survive, level 1, then it would be more of a let's just not fight and everybody go away. Yes. So enchanter needs 16 charisma. Where would rearranging? Where's that 17 do me the most good? It's an extra. Yeah, 16 to 17, and my max is still 8th level spells. Dex. Alright, let's try this. Alright, I think I'm liking this. 17 dex. 16 charisma. Con. I have 16 to 14. Yeah. What am I missing? 16, 10. Two 14s, that's what it is. Okay, I think I've got it. I'm going to be an elf enchanter. I'm going to rearrange to 14 strength, 17 dex, 10 con, 14 int, 11 wisdom, and 16 charisma. Elf bumps dex up to 18 and con down to 9.
Okay, but you do know that only fighters can benefit from the +3 and 4 HP from high con. Non-fighters max out at +2 bonus.
Yes, I know. I put the 17 in dex.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you did. I was not paying attention.
Which as an elf, it brings me up to a +4 to AC, or -4, however it's working.
Okay, so 14, 18, 9, 14, 11, 16.
Yes.
All right.
That gives me, +2 to missile attacks, 4 AC, max spell level 7, 60% chance to learn, and then the henchman stuff that doesn't really ever come up.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
I guess I'll roll my 1d4 for HP. Then we can start getting into spells.
Lovely.
Yeah. Well. Alright. An enchanter bars me from Invocation, Evocation, and Necromancy.
Mm-hmm. For most of the good attack spells.
Yeah, but that's what this guy's about. He's about just going away.
Charming the pants off your enemies.
Yeah, figuratively. Probably not literally. He thinks it's cheating. Alright, so I have a 75% chance to learn enchantments and a 45 to learn others. Let's take a look at spells. Alright. So first level, we're just rolling for learning any spell I want.
Yeah, knock yourself out.
Let's filter. And I've got, 4 languages. Didn't even think about that. Come back to that later. Max 9 spells per level.
Yeah, you don't have to fill out all 9. Chances are you'll
Yeah, I know,
probably
but
only use 1 or 2.
yeah, but
Feel free to max them out if you desire.
I'm not going to go after. I'm not going to avoid going after a secondary thing just because I'm worried about something else.
Okay.
Person friends. Hypnotism. Oh, sleep is an enchantment spell. Let's start with sleep.
What is your chance to learn?
60 generally, so 75 for enchantment.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, we can just after most. Let's try charm person. Yep. Friends. No.
Ooh.
And hypnotism. That'll do. Yes.
Yeah, that'll definitely do.
I realized I could hypnotize people, and that's how I realized I was a wizard.
Makes sense.
All right. Let's try for the nice conjuration spell, armor. Nope. How about... gonna go for Find Familiar. It's more aspirational, but yes. That's 4. Okay. Let's go through the list. Alarm. Really? Schools don't seem very consistent.
How so?
I don't know. Like, a lot of things seem like they're like Burning Hands is alteration, it says here.
Yeah, that seems a little bit more evocation-y, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There are some questions as to how these things came up, but I think they kept Burning Hands as alteration in order to give people who are opposed to evocation some form of combat spell. Because without Burning Hands, you'd have nothing. I think Shocking Grasp is evocation.
I'm going to have darts with a +2 to hit.
Ooh.
And Burning Hands. Alright, let's try for Color Spray. Which is also alteration. Yeah.
Alteration does seem to be the catch-all for spells they can't place elsewhere.
Alteration, elves have dark visions. Oh, I should try for Read Magic.
Very useful spell.
Which I can not at all.
Mm-mm.
Alright, I think that's probably good on spells for now. I have some good ones.
Okay.
Sleep Charm. Ah, that's right. I have to roll for money. $40 gold.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Do you have any idea on character name or background or any of those fun things?
Not especially. Some things are coming out. Like, I kind of made the offhand comment out of hypnotism. That seems useful.
Mm-hmm.
Use. Name. Yeah, name. We'll see if we get a name. Background. I'm an elf, but I'm also out in the world enchanting. Do the elves have some strong, like, social reaction to enchanting others?
Elves are highly resistant to enchantments and charms themselves.
Yes, that's right. That's 90%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably not even an issue they really consider.
Right. I think they'd be more of a curiosity than anything for most elves.
All right, so it's probably with like other races that I developed and learned the ability then. Not wearing armor. All right, let's come back to that after I look at what I can buy. All right, what's my comments? Oh, you mentioned are we using the
Yeah, we're going to use
encumbrance
standard
rules
encumbrance rules.
Yeah. Yeah, that section's weird. It declares them optional and then gives you two options. It doesn't say what to do otherwise.
Yeah. I think there are some things that got a little overlooked. But I try and use the excuse that it was the 80s and they didn't know what they were doing. And just hope that that makes sense.
All right. Do I need to spend any money on this spell book? I don't think it's actually in the list of
No,
things.
you do start with one. Otherwise, you just couldn't afford one. I think they end up being 5 GP per page.
No.
And they take D6 -1 +1 per level pages per spell. So you would spend all of your initial money on your spell book.
All right. Each start is 5 silver, 3 a round. I'm never in combat for more than 10 rounds. I've done something wrong. So let's buy 30 of them.
Okay.
Let's double check. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't think this guy needs a lot as far as equipment. It's kind of. He's just going around looking to have a good time.
Okay.
It's like the elven equivalent of like backpacking around Europe to find yourself, but also messing with people by enchanting them.
Mischievous adventurer.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't do it maliciously, but he spent a lot of time around him. You'd either get to love him or he'd just be annoying. Okay. Let's probably buy a couple of daggers. Dagger is 2 gold. Wait. Oh. Okay, yeah. I'm going to buy 20 darts instead, so that way I can afford... Where are we? Embroidered robes.
Ooh, fancy. What are they embroidered with?
Hmm. What are they embroidered with? Probably just standard fancy elf like leaves and foresty kind of imagery. Like he's out in the world, but home is home. Helps remind him of that.
Huh.
Leaves me with 2 gold that I'll probably keep for expenses. All right. Is there anything left? I suppose I could use a secondary skill. So we're not using proficiencies, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm just gonna roll on the table. Give me some insight into this guy's background. 31. Ooh, a hunter.
Hmm.
Sick wood lore, butchering, basic tracking. So maybe it was animals that he first realized he could hypnotize. Does hypnotism work on animals? Let's see. All right. Says it affects 1d6 creatures, but the only way to actually give a suggestion is verbally. Vocalized urging. That's probably still sufficient that he would have animals would be entranced for like the casting of it. And then like hand waving or something could count. Yeah, I think susceptible to a suggestion. Maybe. No, I don't. Nah, it's kind of hard to judge. Maybe it was like interacting with human hunters. He realized. Oh, yeah, so kind of raise on the outskirts, like the. Yeah, let's open a notepad and type up some backstory notes. So he was raised on the outskirts. Just kind of started doing this, came up with this nice little chant that sounded good, hand motions. It's basically just kind of constantly casting hypnotism, just as like a tick, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like that came to him pretty naturally. So that's when I rolled a 1 on. So he would have been like a young adult elf doing, huntery, guardianship type stuff out in the forest and like the outskirts of society. Interacted with humans, realized he could do this. I went back, told the elders, all that good stuff, got training. And now I guess came into his own and decided, man, being a wizard was a lot more fun than being a hunter. Let's go out into the world and do wizard things.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's just straight up looking for adventure. Like he wants to use his magic to get the better of a situation and diffuse it and be the hero.
All right. Well then, are you ready to go? Is there any other things you need to do for your character sheet?
Let's double check. Equipment proficiencies. Yeah, I've got all the saves worked out. That's fine. Nope. I think I'm good. Do you want me to send you a character sheet, or can I just work locally for now?
Just work locally.
Right.
Go over the gear that you have one more time, since you just went the background.
All right. I have a spell book, embroidered robes, 20 darts, and 4 daggers. I'm a hunter. That is my background. So when I'm in the woods, I can just hunt for food. And when I'm in town, I'm super charming and everyone loves me. I can get people to pay for drinks and food and stuff.
Cool. Let's just take a look at some things. And your stats are 14, 18, 9, 14, 11, 16. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Fantastic. Let's start then. How long ago did you leave home?
Not that long ago, like 10 or 12 years.
Okay.
Elf time.
Elf time. That's just yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are in the human-centric town of Coxport. It is it's at the very top of the map you have before you. It's in the southern side of the shallow sea, where all these spice islands are. There is a rather active volcano on one of the islands out there, and the large kingdom of Farnelia is in which you reside. Most of it is south of where you are, just a little bit to the north. Coxport is on a tiny island in a very large bay, and you're down by the docks, having just gotten off the boat.
All right. Oh, spells I have memorized.
Oh, good call.
I think my special enchanter spell slot is always sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I say otherwise. And then charm person, hypnotize. Say charm person as my main. So I've got charm person and sleep memorized.
Okay. So you are down by the docks in Coxport. You're the only elf around, and it's pretty obvious. You get a lot of side looks from people. A lot of people kind of openly gaping.
Give Charming smile, a little bit of a wave.
Mhm.
When I do that, what's their reaction? Do they like?
Some people wave back, some people turn away, and as if I didn't realize I was staring. Yeah, you get mixed reactions from the crowd.
All right, anyone who seems like, oh, he's waking back, like actually friendly, or is it all just, oh, he's a weird elf?
Uh, they'll like wave back and then go about their day. Maybe give you a smile or something. It seems that they're giving you a lot of space.
Hmm. All right. I know those people seem fun.
Where
Time
do
of day is it?
midday, just afternoon.
Day this afternoon. I just got off a boat. I'm tired. I'm going to a tavern.
Okay.
Just immediately. Not one by the docks. I'll wander around the city for an hour to try to get a feel for it and try to find a nicer place.
Okay. The town is
Town.
decently
All right.
sized, maybe 5,000 people strong, maybe. And you find quite a few different taverns all about. A lot of them are down by the docks, but the center of town is up on a slight hill. The town, how big is this island?
Oh, last thing.
5 miles.
Languages. I speak 4 other languages. Probably
So
figure those out.
the town doesn't quite stretch from one side of the island to the other, and it just kind of goes up onto a very slight hill and then down towards the sea. So as you climb the hill, you find things get a little bit quieter, they get a little bit nicer. You get away from the rowdy, smelly seaport and into a more pleasant residential or mercantile area. You can see near the top of the town is a rather large manor that overlooks everything.
All right. Just before we go on, I realize I also speak 4 additional languages.
Which
So,
languages do you speak in addition to Elven?
Common,
It's a good choice.
and let's just go down. I don't think I've had exposure to anything super weird. So Common, Dwarven, Gnome. Is Halfling a separate language?
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, then I'll speak Halfling. Just all the
All the
all the
common.
common tongues.
Yeah. Cool. So you're walking up the hill, looking for something a little bit
Yeah.
quieter, and you come
I
across.
think I'm looking for, like you said, it gets nicer. I want something on the outskirts of the nice section.
Okay.
So, like, where it's mostly nice people, but then you could also maybe get like a sailor coming in came in with a bonus or something.
Okay, so that's probably fairly close to the docks, but maybe 2 blocks in. Just,
All right, but I still spend like the hour wandering before I
Sure.
move back here.
Okay. You end up finding a place called the Golden Cup. It's about 2 blocks from the ocean, and the main common room has a nice view down the street. It's at the end of a long road. So the common room looks out down this slight hill and out to the ocean where you can see all the ships out there. It is not a rowdy place, but there are plenty of people about. There are a few sailors here, but mostly they seem to be merchants in and about, talking about where they've traveled from, what sorts of things they have, and doing the sort of like deals that people make when they're at a bar drinking together. The sort of
Oh, yeah,
business
he's
that
totally
gets
into that.
done.
He wants to hear where people have been. He wants to hear what's going on.
Yeah.
I just came from, I don't know. I was on the ocean for a week. Where did I come from? Where could I have come from?
Doesn't matter.
This came from a dwarf town. It's nice to get some fresh air again.
Well, what did you bring with you? What merchandise do you carry?
I am all that I am.
I see.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not a merchant. I am a traveler and experiencer of the world.
Ah, well, perhaps you would like to experience some of my fine wares. I have some of the finest elven silks. What they can remind you of your
I
long lost home.
I look down at my embroidered robe with all the fancy elf stuff that reminds me of my long lost home. Kind of, yes, yes, I like having this robe. I apologize, but I'm not currently in the market for a new one.
Well, how about some of the finest halfling pipeweed? Or maybe I can get you some. What things do elves like? I have so many things.
See, that's where you're restricting yourself, sir. Not what do elves like. What does anyone like? You must tailor. Elf is far too broad a category. You must focus. You must tailor your pitch.
You certainly are an interesting fellow. I have a
Thank you.
beautiful songbird. She sings the most lovely songs of all. Perhaps you would like a listen?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Let's finish these drinks here. My wagon is parked out back. We can go find her there.
All right. I'm
Guys,
certain I don't have the money to pay for a songbird, but I'm interested in seeing it.
okay. So you finish up your drinks, head out, and go to his wagon. You guys take the back exit, and that's where the little stables are that hold all the
I'm sorry,
horses
sir. I
and
don't believe
things.
I caught your name.
Ah, my name is Jeffrey. Jeffrey Holmes. And yours?
And now is where I realize I have not actually thought of a name for myself. You can call me Lel.
Lel? Nice to meet you, Lel. So, my cart is just around here, and he cruises around one of the stable stalls to where a cart is parked, only to find that the cart has been ransacked.
Oh no! I'm just looking around, seeing if it see anyone recent. I'm in this to help.
You see, there are a couple of people about. No one seems to be paying attention, but there are people about. The inside of the cart is all things have been knocked over. The outside of the cart still looks fine. It's one of those like Oregon Trail kind of covered wagons where there's like a small area that you can see through. The merchant comes up, frantically looking around, and goes, "The bird! They took my bird. It was in a cage, a bronze cage."
All right. Gonna start by speaking up. This cart has been robbed. Did anyone see anyone in here recently?
Give me a charisma check.
All right. We're doing the plus your skill greater than 21.
People glance over, but no one really pays much mind.
All right. I start looking around with my basic tracking skills.
You have. Oh, that's right. You were a hunter, aren't you?
Yes.
Excellent. Give me a wisdom or willpower check.
No.
No. There are bonuses for. Where is it? There are a lot of modifiers attached to that, actually.
Yeah, but if we're going into modifiers, I'm not a ranger.
This is true. This is definitely true.
Yeah, it just says basic tracking. So if I was out in the woods, it kind of makes sense that I'm not super good at tracking people through a city.
Yeah. You see some signs of footprints around here, but they don't really lead anywhere useful, just out of the stall. But you get roughly the size of the person. They look like a normal, average-sized human. Not a small person, not an exceptionally large person, a fairly average person.
All right, so likely not a gnome or halfling then.
Right.
All right. Who else have you told of the songbird? Like, was it just the bird taken, or was everything Still, like, it
I
doesn't.
think it's just the bird. Hold on.
Hmm,
Oh
so
no.
it's hard
No,
to.
no, no, no. Oh my. They seem to have taken my hidden strong box.
Hmm. Can you show me where it was hidden and how well hidden it might have been? Because if they took just the bird and the hidden box, that implies someone who knows your stuff.
What? Who would want to take? But
I
everyone
don't
loves
know.
me.
You seem great. I don't know. But who would have known? Like,
I don't know. He shows you the location of the box. It is a small false bottom in the back of the wagon. The last two boards
can
flip
I
up.
roll to see if I noticed it before he showed me with my elven detect doors?
Yes. What is your detect secret doors?
2 on 6. So a 1 or 2? No. He
No.
shows me, and I think it was actually pretty well hidden.
Yeah.
Okay, well, your box was well hidden. Your bird was you tried to sell me the bird. Have you tried to sell anyone else the bird recently? How long
I
have you been in town?
I arrived off a ship this morning.
Okay.
I've been here in this inn ever since, just resting up and enjoying talking to people. I was going to go down to the market tomorrow to sell my wares, but a few deals can always be made at an inn, usually at a better price.
Yes, of course.
I've told many people about the songbird. A few seemed interested. I've shown that to a couple of fellas. Let's see. There was you. There was the circus men that came through. Who else did I show the bird to? Oh, I showed the bird to one of the servants of. God, I need a name. Uh, Lord, I Lord Sedworth. It was I'm sure other people could have overheard me speaking, but I only actually showed it to these three circus performers and one of the servants of Lord Sedworth.
Okay. I look around, like, just on the card. Is there anything that seems like it would identify it? Like, does he have, like, a merchant's mark or something?
He does. The wagon is covered with a white fabric, but on either side of the fabric is a very large logo.
All right. All right. Your logo seems. Even someone who overheard could easily have found your cart here and looked through it.
Well, advertising is everything. Brand recognition is king.
Oh, yes, I quite agree, but unfortunately, there are people who take advantage like this.
Oh me, oh my. The bird I could live without, but that strongbox.
Tell me, sir, what was this bird's name? What is this bird's name?
Her name was Harmony.
Lovely. I probably say the Elvish word for harmony. Just repeat it back to him.
He doesn't understand. He looks confused.
Yeah, that wasn't for him. It was just for me. Sir, I will seek to recover harmony. And if I find your money along the way, that's great.
There was no money in the strongbox.
Oh,
It was an item someone had asked me to procure for them. A specialty item.
oh,
A magic item.
all right. I am willing to seek to recover this for you, but if I am to do so, you must tell me, like, at least what it looks like. How strong is the box? Because they could probably have just opened the box.
No, it was made of the finest steel available, and in this area, steel is hard to come by. Everything is bronze or brass or copper. It was made of the finest steel and had a beautiful lock on it that I had specially crafted by a dwarven smith. The only key is... oh god, here it is. When he pulls out a key. This is the only key that will open it. You could take a hammer to it for days and only dent the surface. The contents should be safe.
Should, yes, but people should not have taken your bird either. Like, I know it is unlikely, but I have seen many unlikely things in my centuries. Please, can you tell me what was in it? I'm like trying to push him to. Like, and
simple.
I'm coming from a point of straight up just wanting to know so I can find it. Like he's so confident in his box. I'm assuming that it didn't work.
A simple brass bracelet about 2 inches wide, fairly loose, would fit on a large man's arm, around which there are some gold. What's the opposite of relief? What's when something sticks out? Is that the relief? As if you've got like a not a cut down, but a raised up section.
Yeah, I don't know the word, but I know what you.
Yeah, I'm not sure the term. But some of the gold bands going in circles around it like that. There's a term for that. There's a very specific word for that.
All right. Well, sir, I believe you have set me upon a course of adventure. I thank you, and I hope to be able to repay you by returning your item. And then I just turn around and walk away.
He continues searching through his cart.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm going to go search out the circus men. Because even... And my logic is either they took it, which doesn't seem likely, because the only way that it would benefit them is if they advertise having the songbird they stole. But that they would also... Like, circus folk, they're travelers. That's probably a place where I could, if that doesn't pan out, like start searching for just general seediness.
Mm-hmm.
I realize it might have been a good idea to ask him where they were, but I've already made my dramatic exit.
Can't
so
go
I'm going
back
to go
now.
I'm going to go out in the street, go like a block away, just find a passerby. Excuse me, Have I heard there's a circus in town?
She blinks at you for a few moments, and then realizes you asked a question. Goes, yes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes. There's
I repeat myself verbatim.
There's a circus in town, indeed. They just arrived yesterday. I think they should be setting up for their first act today.
Oh, splendid. Could you show me the way?
Of course, if you go down this street and take a left over at Worcestershire Avenue and down a few blocks and take the spiral pathway, she gives you directions.
Okay. Yeah, I give her some kind of fancy goodbye. Like I say goodbye in I don't have a long phrase for it, but I just say it in Dwarven, Gnome, Halfling, and Elven back to back. So it comes out as a long string.
Interesting. Okay. Cool. You have done so.
All right, so
now
I'm going
what?
to wake my way towards the circus, I guess.
Sure. All right. Let's see what trouble we can get into. So, on your way towards the circus, you get stopped in the street. Just full on, someone comes out of the side and steps in your way. It is a regular-sized human, which is kind of a bigger person for you. He's got chainmail on. He has a metal helmet, a long sword at his side, and a shield strapped to one arm. No sign of sigil or order is on him. He stops and narrows his eyes at you and goes, "What's an elf like you doing in my town?"
Greetings, sir. I am searching for a stolen songbird.
It's a very elfy thing to do.
Thank you.
What are you doing in my town?
I was just passing through. I'm just traveling throughout the world. Tell me, where's the nicest place you've been?
Have you paid your taxes?
Yes, I make certain to send my required dues back to the homeland every decade or so.
No, your elf tax for being in town. Any elf coming into my part of the town needs to pay his taxes.
Which is your part of the town?
This part. And
What-
now that
what
you're
are the
here,
boundaries?
you need to pay your taxes.
All right. What is the tax?
2 silver per ear. If you don't want to pay, I can cut off your ears for you.
That doesn't seem sustainable. If you do that once, then the person never has to pay tax again.
I don't make the rules, I just enforce them.
Let's see. I had 2 gold left over from character creation. Could I have cashed that, or do I just have 2 gold?
If it
Like
is in GP on your sheet, it is in GP on your character.
I don't care about money. Like, I take out a gold. Here, sir. Sorry for the trouble. But now tell me, have you heard anything about a songbird?
No.
All right. Well, I am based out of the Golden Cup. If you hear anything, could you please send someone my way?
Sure. Absolutely. And he
And what was your name, sir?
he turns and walks without replying.
All right. I'm going to remember that guy, but whatever.
Okay. All right, you continue on and find the circus fairly quickly. It's just another half block away. There's a large kind of open field. Looks like maybe a block was demolished, or maybe it was just left as an open field in the middle of town. Definitely not a park or anything like that. But there are circus tents setting up from spot to spot. You can see some elephants in cages. There are some monkeys. There are halflings and dwarves. There's a half-elf. You see a couple of gnomes arguing back and forth. They're talking to each other at the same time, but somehow still replying to what the other person is saying.
Right.
You do
What are
speak
they arguing about?
gnome, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is something you've seen many times then in Amish society, because gnomes just don't stop talking. They tend to have names that are like 30 syllables long, just because it's this person of this person of this person who did this thing, who did that thing, who did this other thing, who did that thing. They seem to be arguing over the positioning of a tent. It should be here. No, it should be there. It should be there. Well, we need it this place for this reason. Do you want to get some food? Yes, but the tent should be here. And yada, yada, yada.
All right. I think first I'm just going to kind of just make a loop wandering through eavesdropping.
Okay.
Counting on... Yeah, I'm just going to try that at first.
Okay. As you walk through, you do hear a couple of people talking about a man that they swindled out of some good money earlier today. It appears to be 2 acrobats who are in between, like during this conversation, they're practicing their routine, and they're talking to the what I can't remember the name for it, but a dagger thrower, a knife thrower.
All right. How far in my loop have I made it before I hear this?
3/4 of the way.
All right, so this is the first interesting thing I've heard. All right, I will approach them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I will just approach, watch them practice for like 2 or 3 throws, and then, well, How do they do?
Um, the knife thrower is pretty on point. She gets her knives or daggers exactly in the target over and over again. The acrobats are practicing just kind of like tossing each other up in the air and catching each other when they land, or swinging on things. They're doing fairly well too. They seem well practiced to the point that they can have a conversation while they practice.
All right. I say most impressive. Good job.
They look over to you and say, "Oh, thank you. You should see the real show. This is just a warm up."
Yes, I very much intend to, but first I have to find a songbird. I believe it was stolen, and I believe you might be the people to talk to help me find the people.
A stolen songbird. Wow. That sounds like a job for the sheriff, don't you think? I mean,
That's no fun. No one writes stories about sheriffs.
well, what's the bird look like?
I mean, how much of the pitch do I remember?
Give me an intelligence check. It was yellow.
A beautiful yellow songbird named Harmony. Anyway, look, I am trying to be upfront with you. I heard you talking about swindling some person. I don't care about that, but you seem like you might be the people to point me in the right direction. I have a +5 reaction adjust.
Oh, that's right. You have just completely wicked charisma. Oops. Where's my... here we go. +5 reaction just?
Yeah, 16 charisma.
My god. That is so strong. Okay. They shrug and say, yeah, well, if all you really care about is the songbird, then I haven't seen anything or heard anything. Definitely no one around here has taken it, but we only showed up yesterday.
Yeah, so songbird was stolen just today.
Sorry about that.
Alright. Well,
Say, you want to stick around and play some cards? You seem like a nice fella.
what cards? See, that sounds fun, but I also don't want to lose the track of the bird that I have. I also don't really have a track. Tell you what, I'll come back later if I'm successful. If not, you'll never hear from me again.
Why, isn't that dramatic?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. See, you people get it.
They chuckle, and you guys part ways. Where to now?
So they didn't know anything. They didn't. They were new in town, so they didn't have to know to point me in the right direction. The only other lead was the servants of Lord Sedgeworth.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to approach. Well, what do I know of human customs in this land? Would he be like holding court or something?
It depends on the level of nobility. If he's the lord of the town, then he might be holding court right now. If he is just a local minor lord, he probably would be at his home or off on some business appointment or whatever, or maybe vacationing. It really depends on his particular station.
All right. I think I'm just going to approach the manor house. Try to get an audience with this guy. Even if the songbird thing doesn't work out. So, Lord, that could be interesting.
Sure. You approach the manor house. It is at the top of the hill. at the top of the town. The hill extends a little beyond that, and it is gated. Out front are two guards. They are dressed in bright colors with the sigils of their lord's house on them, and they block the way with halberds and brass chainmail.
All right. I approach. Greetings, sir. I am Limowin of the elven lands of wherever I'm from. Am I seek an audience with Lord Sedgeworth? Might you tell me how I could get in contact with him?
That +5 reaction adjustment again. Oh my god. This isn't his house.
Oh,
You have the wrong place, sir.
sorry about that. Could you direct me to the right place?
Lord Sedgeworth is master of docks. He's down by the harbor. There's a small castle-looking building. That's his house.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice day. I proceed towards there.
Okay. You get down to the docks. It is late afternoon now, and you definitely see this small castle-like structure. It's maybe 50 feet, 50 feet by 100 feet, so it's just kind of like a long rectangle. 3 stories high, all stone, nice parapets around the top. The bottom is a large wooden door with wrought iron straps across it, which would be very expensive to make in this day and age, or in this area. They might as well be made of silver. And there are 2 guards out front.
All right. I go up and repeat my thing. Greetings, sirs. I am Limowin of the elven lands of wherever I seek an audience with Lord Sedgeworth.
Okay. What is the purpose of your meeting? Lord Sedgeworth is a busy man.
I merely seek to establish relations, to talk to someone who seems like he would have interesting things to say. I know I have interesting things I could tell him. Various travels around the lands.
I'm sorry, idle chatter is not good enough a reason to enter.
All right. That's his loss. I'm going to leave for now.
For now.
Yeah.
Where would you like to go? What would you like to do?
That is what he's thinking. Let's see.
You are an elf.
Yes. Which you said initially made everyone just kind of stare at me.
Yes, you do attract attention. As you stand in the street deciding where to go,
Yeah.
you hear this wonderful song coming from one of the windows above. Sounds like a beautiful bird.
All right. I look around for it.
You can't see the bird, but you definitely hear a bird song coming from up above.
What's up above me? Is it just this guy's manor house, or are there other things around?
Across the street is a tavern that is 2 stories, and on either side of that are shops. There is a there's a rope building, a rope shop. I don't know what the appropriate term for a roper is. And on the other side of that seems to be some sort of artisan, craftsman sort of place. The typical
All right.
fashion of the day would be to have your shop downstairs and your house upstairs.
Right. I will enter the tavern and see if I can. Are there rooms available? Like, is that what the second floor is with the tavern?
Yes.
All right, I'll approach and say, "Excuse me, sir. I've just gotten in today. I'm getting a bit tired. Do you think I could rent a room for the night? Ideally, one with a nice across the street towards the manor house. Would that have been like, which way is that? Would that have been ocean view or?
Yes, that would be an ocean view.
Okay, perfect. So preferably a nice ocean view. I grew fond of it over the last couple weeks on the boat.
Of course, of course. Would you like some food and drink? Maybe breakfast and dinner with that?
Yes, of course. What's for dinner?
We have the most delicious stew. Comes from
What kind of
faraway
stew?
lands. Rabbit stew, but they sear the rabbit before they cook it, which really locks in the flavor. But the marinade they use for it is it's fantastic.
Yes, I believe I will have dinner with my room then, yes.
Excellent. 5 silver, please.
I hand them a gold.
Okay. He returns you 5 silver coins, and you disappear. Innkeeper seems not even phased that you're an elf.
Alright. So for now I want to head up to my room. Well, it's a late afternoon, so I'm just going to head up to my room for now. Lean out the window and try to get a better look/listen to see if I can hear the bird again.
Okay. You are on the second floor, looking into the windows of the second floor of the manor, or it's not really a manor, let's just call it a keep. Looking to the second floor windows of the keep over there. Seems to be like the room directly across from you. It's not, perfectly across, it's across and slightly to the left. Seems to be a bedroom of sorts. It looks to be a rather small bedroom, so probably a servant's quarters, it's a nice... Well, it's not actually an ocean view, it's a street view street. So it's probably a servant's quarters, or maybe some sort of head of the household staff quarters. Definitely not nice. They're small, kind of cramped. The bed is pretty normal, but it does have a nice window. The only other window that is open and you can see into is on the far right of the building, and you can't see too much because of the angle that you look through. But you do see a spear resting against the wall.
All right. I think the plan is just to hang out here for a few hours. Just I've been on my feet all day, relax, see if I can listen to if the bird comes back. I'll go have dinner at dinner time. That rabbit sounded great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna hang out until I'll probably take a nap after dinner. The idea of waking up around midnight and doing nighttime things.
Okay. Cool. So
At any point, do I hear the bird again?
You do. The bird comes in again a little bit later, and now you're sure of it that it is somewhere in that keep.
Interesting. I think during dinner, I'll try to... well, who's around?
In the tavern?
Yeah. Just sitting at tables, whatnot. I'm trying to find someone to strike up a casual conversation where I ask about the Lord and what he does and what his family is and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, you can find plenty of information about him. There's a lot of people here. What would you like to ask in particular?
I think I'm looking for what his official role is, what he actually does, how the people feel about him, and if he has a family, what family he has. If he has a wife or a mistress or someone who might really like a songbird and magic bracelet.
He has a wife and 3 daughters, which apparently is a problem for him. He's been wanting a son for years, but his wife keeps producing daughters. They had a stillborn son once, many, many years ago, their first child. and ever since then, it's just been girls, girls, girls. He is the master of
Do I get
docks.
do I get ages? Or are they like 8 or
There's
like 16? Or,
no a 5, 3, and 1.
so probably not worth getting a songbird for.
Um, he
Like
is
at least they wouldn't appreciate it properly.
he is the master of docks, so he oversees everything and has final say over all transactions with the docks regarding prices for ships and taxes. Of course, he does answer to the actual lord of the city, but insofar, like, he runs all this stuff himself.
All right. See, this is interesting to me because it sounds like someone in that position wouldn't need to steal the bird. He could have just bought it.
Probably.
That's
Someone in that
what I'm
position
using as I eat my.
would also could know about anyone who comes in or out of through those docks. You know,
Right.
all the people who work on the docks or work for the city on the docks report directly to him. You had one other question that I'm forgetting right now.
I ask it was. I think it was just like the general demeanor of the public towards him.
Oh,
Like, is he like super draconian in enforcing taxes, or is he like an easygoing guy, or does he get bribed?
he has a mixed reputation. He is in charge of kind of one of the defining aspects of this town, and as such, he is always making enemies when his rulings go against certain people or in favor of other people. But it seems to be it just seems mixed, not particularly notorious or not particularly beloved. He seems like a decent civil servant who's just trying to do what he needs to do.
All right. So obviously the bird's there, but like, servants came, and I'm gonna see if I can find like if any of his servants are like here eating. Like maybe the rabbit's good, so they come here to eat instead of whatever they get over there.
How do you go about looking for one of these servants?
Well, I guess in my inquiries, no one said, "Oh yes, I work there, and this is blah blah blah."
No. No one identified themselves as one of his servants.
Okay. Yeah. How do I identify his servants? That is a good question. I guess just first off, like, what's the general, like, who is here? Is it like mainly dock workers or?
Yeah. It looks to be kind of the common folk. You don't actually see any sailors here. Looking around, it seems like lots of locals come to this place. You do notice while you're talking to people that some sailors come in at one point, but the bouncer throws them right back out. Doesn't look like there are any merchants. No. You're looking around, you get the feeling that you're probably the only traveler here, or maybe one of a small few.
All right. I think what I will do is I will go up to my room, just spend the night watching the front door to see if anyone goes from here back to the keep. Which I should be able to do fine with my 60-foot infravision.
Yes, and you're doing that from your room or from downstairs?
From my room, I'm just like leaning out the window, like as if I'm admiring the sea view, but I'm also. So I'm pretty obvious if someone's looking for me, but.
Yes, actually, half an hour later, someone does go directly from this tavern across the way. The guards let them through. They open the door, shut the door behind them, and are in the keep.
And my goal here is to identify that person and then hope that they show up again tomorrow night and I can talk to them.
Ah, okay. Give me an intelligence check. 20. Okay. The person, you did not get a great look at them. You can tell that they were female. They had long hair, long brown hair. But other than that, no defining features could be spotted. It was a chilly night, so she was wearing a big shawl over her shoulders.
Yes. Okay. Me. What else do I have? I think tonight I'm just like resting and like it's been a long day. I'm just gonna sleep tonight. Plan for the morrow.
Okay. Night comes and night goes. You wake in the morning, and you wake to food being set out in front of your door, actually.
Is it the same? How good was the rabbit last night after they talked it up so much?
It was pretty delicious. I mean, you're far traveled, and your palate is a little different than what they have here, but it was nice. The rabbit had it wasn't a strong rabbit flavor, but there was a strong flavor like to the marinade on it.
Just looking up the details of Charm Person.
It's a strong spell.
Right. Last night at the door, you said the guard let them in. Was there one or were there multiple?
There were 2 guards.
Okay. Can I see the front of the keep from my room?
Yeah, your room faces the front door.
All right. Is it within 120 yards?
Absolutely. It is just across the street, and the street is not that wide, maybe 15 feet.
All right.
No, not even. It's like 10 or 12 feet.
All right. Yeah, that's really 12 feet is a standard modern lane.
You could fit about 1 wagon down this road with people on either side.
Okay. Well, I have enough money to pay for another night at the inn. My plan is to just post up here all day tomorrow. And if Lord, do I believe I can identify Lord Sedgeworth by sight based on what I learned yesterday?
Probably. He is a lord, and he does have a personal bodyguard. Nobles are pretty easy to spot.
Would I have been able to learn his first name?
Yes. Yes. His first name is Vong. V-O-N-G.
All right. My plan for tomorrow is just stay in the room, watch the front door. If he comes out, cast Charm Person on him.
Okay. Well, night comes and goes. The next morning, you wait in your room to cast Charm Person on him.
That's the plan.
Oops. Oh. That's right, because I moved Charm Person to level 3 spell. Because it's broken and does not belong at level 1. Range is 120 yards. Lovely. Includes bipedal humans, demi-human, da-da-da-da-da. Thus a 10th level fighter could be charmed, but an ogre could not.
Yeah, there is a saving throw.
Uh-huh. Okay. Such a broken spell. Sure enough, early morning, he steps on out. He has his personal bodyguard of 4 men following behind him. They are all in bronze plate with long swords and shields, wearing azure cloaks that flow behind them. You cast a charm person spell on him, and you do not know the effects until.
Yes. The plan is to, okay, he left. I'm just going to go, like, is there any place to sit? They said it's a really narrow street. I guess there's no place to just kind of hang out there.
No, not really. You could loiter, but loitering out in front of a lord's house is probably a dangerous idea.
Yeah. Like, what's the range? Like, how far is it before he, like, goes around a corner? Or I lose sight of him?
You don't know. You don't know where he's going.
No, but, like, I watch him walk out of the building, I cast my spell, and then when
and
do I
then you
lose
just
sight of
continue
him?
to. He curves with along the road, maybe 100 more yard. No, 50 more yards, and then you lose sight of him behind a building. But he's taking the major. This is like the main street that wraps around the front of the docks. So it looks like he's heading down to the docks themselves, or at least in that direction. But as master of dock, if he's headed in the direction of the docks, kind of makes sense.
All right. My plan is to just hang out, have some lunch, wait until when I see him coming back, go down and plan to interact with him.
All right. Easy. Actually, quite easy. He comes back a few hours later, presumably for lunch, because people start piling into the tavern looking to get some food. And you step out into the dock district.
I'm going to walk towards his entourage and just kind of wave at him.
You wave at him. He's talking to his servant, but does a double take and waves back, pushes his servant to the side, and comes over and says, "Why, hello there! It is so unlikely to have an elf in our town. May I extend a personal greeting as Lord of the harbor here? All elves are welcome here."
Oh, thank you very much for your hospitality.
My pleasure indeed. What brings you to my beautiful little town?
I am traveling on a journey through the world, seeking excitement, seeking beauty. I've certainly found some here.
Well, thank you for saying so.
All right. Tell me, what would you recommend for food? I had some rabbit over there last night. It was very good, but I'm trying to angle to get an invitation to lunch.
Right. I see what you're doing there. That was clever. That was very clever. Well, I couldn't speak to the local dishes. I have all of my meals prepared for me. But what say you? I'm off to lunch right now. Why don't we share a meal, and you can tell me of your homeland, and I can tell you about this place, and we can speak together. It'd be most pleasant.
Oh, I thank you for your generosity. I will take you up on that.
Of course. Come. And no one says anything, and he leads you right into the building, past the guards, and up to the second floor, where there is a large hall, small hall, with a large dining table in it, and there are servants bringing out all manner of food.
All right. I mean, the plan for now is just to have lunch with him, talk, attempt to steer the conversation towards, I think at some point I'll, like halfway through the meal, I'll just straight up mention, and out of my window last night in the inn, I heard this beautiful song, like, it sounds like a songbird of some kind. It was, like, I'll just mention.
Yes, one of my servants bought that in the market yesterday. Quite lovely to hear.
Ah, sir, I have some grave news for you. That songbird. I have been searching for that songbird for 2 days. It was not purchased. It was stolen.
Excuse me?
The like, I encountered a merchant who attempted to sell me a songbird. We went to his cart to view it, and the cart had been ransacked.
And how can you be sure it is the same songbird?
It's a yellow songbird. And also, a songbird went missing yesterday after a servant of yours came to look at it, and then also yesterday your servant appeared with a songbird.
Well, that does seem to be damning evidence.
It's a yellow songbird, right? This isn't a coincidental second songbird.
I don't know. Let's go take a look. And he pushes himself up from the table and heads down a hallway. Goes up
Alright,
to... No, it's actually on the second floor. Heads to a room, and goes to open it. It is locked, and he calls to one of his guards to bring him the keys. A few tense moments pass as the guard comes back with the key, unlocks the door. The Lord pushes it open and steps inside, and there in front of you guys is a yellow songbird in a bronze cage.
Well, I say, Harmony!
The bird chitters at you. But, it's a bird. It's chittering all the time.
Yes. Well, I believe at this point I should go and retrieve the merchant to bring him here to verify, but this seems to be... What happened?
Well, I would...
Also a lockbox. He also had a lockbox stolen that we should try to find.
This is a delicate matter, and that would reflect poorly on me. I think we've gotten to know each other a little bit. I might even dare call us friends. Perhaps you would be willing to do a favor for me. Find the cost of the bird and just pay it. I will deal with my man, but were it to get out that my servants were stealing things and bringing them into my home, it would reflect most poorly on me.
Yes, that seems reasonable. Yes. To be honest, the merchant didn't care about the songbird. That was more for me. And look at the bird. Yes, that was worth it. But the merchant also had stolen from him a lockbox of a steel lockbox in which he said was kept an item that he had procured at great cost to himself.
Guards, search the room for this box. The guards...
What kind of room are we in? Is it just like a servant's quarters?
It's a small servant's quarters, 5 feet across, 8
so
feet
he just
deep.
stole it for himself? I thought it was like a gift for the Lord's daughters or something.
No, this is the servant's
I think I
quarters.
say that. I think, wait, he stole it for himself? Obviously he was going to get caught.
The guards ransack the room, and they do find indeed a steel strongbox stuck underneath the guy's bed next to a hammer and a file and a chisel.
All right, job done. If you'll permit me, Vong, may I call? Yes, if you'll permit me, Vong, I will return this to its own. Yes, I will return this to its owner. I will just vaguely inform him that I discovered it, that the bird has found an. Honestly, I won't mention. I won't mention the bird. I'll just bring this back. He'll be happy. He'll forget about the bird. Everyone's happy, except your servant. Punish him.
Oh, believe me, we will. Kind of a dark mood comes over him, and he hurries you out the door. You can now head back and do whatever you'd like.
Yeah, I'm gonna head back to, where is it? The Golden Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Stride in the front door. Look very pleased with myself. Look around for Jeffrey.
He is not there. Give me an int check. He said he was going to be setting up in the market today.
All right.
You can find him in the market.
I go in, look very pleased. Wait, market.
Yep.
Head towards the market, looking very pleased the whole time.
Okay. You find him in the market pretty quickly. His cart is there. It seems to have been reordered and looks quite nice. He's got a little table with an overhang to keep the sun off of him, and he is hawking his wares to anyone that will give him a second look, or even a first look, or even
I
vaguely in his direction.
I stride up proudly, holding the chest before me, the strongbox.
His eyes go wide. He jumps over his table, grabs the box from you, and goes, "Where did you find this?"
I found it with the thief.
Oh my god. Or by the gods, you have no idea how much I. Come with me. Come. He tucks you back into his little wagon, puts the strong box down, steps on it with one foot just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, and says, "I owe you my life. Please let me pay you something."
Sure, I have incurred some expenses in this venture.
Of course,
I am out
of
of money.
course. He pulls open a drawer, pulls out a bag of coins, and just hands it to you. Just take it all. You've literally saved my life.
I hope you live it well, friend. I walk away dramatically.
It's just him saying thank you as you disappear into the crowd. And
Last thing is I want to go play some cards at the circus. That's where I'm going next.
oh, cool. Yeah.
Yes, end on that image.
All right.
Like,
You head
I've
off.
got money now. Let's go gamble.
You play cards at the circus. The bag does contain 100 silver pieces, 50 copper pieces, and 20 gold pieces if you care.
All right.
But that is it for us today. Well done. Congratulations. You didn't die. That's always a great thing. And you completed your task. Also a great thing.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Before we fully sign out, is there anything you would like to say? Any final words?
Not really. This was fun. Now that I'm going to go back and actually watch the other auditions now. I've been holding off on that. So
Well, we will have another one in an hour and a half. So there's that too. There's another edition in an hour and a half, and we are mid 24-hour stream. So stick around, guys. And also, if you are going to be up later, we are doing Roleplay West Marches at 3 p.m. Eastern today. So see everybody later. Bye bye.